All right, let me check in with our wrestler real quick. We're supposed to have Larry D join us, the legendary Larry D. He is the legendary Larry D, the best hand in the house. Been wrestling since 2002. Was on TNA Impact. You saw him there. He's wrestled all over the country. Recently, I watched a match at AAW, and so I'm really excited to catch up with Larry D. There's a lot of things I want to get into with him. He's from Loversboro, Kentucky. Is his is his name? I don't know. Is that a real town? Is that a real town, Mason? Loversboro, Kentucky? No. He was giving us some "Go Big Blue, Go Cats" in our chat. So hopefully he will join us in just a second. I know this show is going a little longer today. We're going to cut out the Ryle Kelly interview to put it on the YouTube's machine by itself, so everybody can just jump straight to that. We'll also cut out the Larry D interview if we can get him on. We want to talk about his match against, getting set in. Perfect. So he's going to be in here in just a second. He's scheduled to take on Brother Azriel at Star Spangled Bash. And Brother Azriel, if you haven't seen him yet, I'm sorry, this is not said in a disparaging way. He has the whitest base I have ever seen in my life on a human being. He is a big man, and I saw Brother Azriel do pile driver. Cade Newton. Yes, Cade Newton. Yes. Onto the gym floor.
Yeah,
the gym floor. There's no padding. This is basketball hardwood floor at New Era Wrestling, and pile drived Cade Newton's head right into the gym floor in their Falls Count Anywhere match, I guess 2 shows ago. So Larry D is going to be stepping in inside the ropes against one of the biggest, meatiest men. But if you put on Larry D's film, you look him up on the YouTube's machine. He is a big old man himself. And he's in there. I guess the most prominent match that I saw was against Jacob Fatu.
That's what I'm looking
and
at right
he
now.
And Fatu are going beat for beat right there at AAW. And he nearly takes out the Samoan Werewolf. Unfortunately, he gets the big old moonsault at the end and gets pinned. But I'm looking forward to hearing from Larry D, hearing about his time at TNA Impact, and hearing just kind of what he's going to do at New Era Wrestling. So we're really looking forward to it. Yep, he's in our back end. We are trying to get him really finish the show on a high note. So let's do it right here. You follow him. You can follow him on the Twitter machine at Legend of Larry D on the Twitter machine. He is the legendary Larry D. Watch out for the KO punch. Watch out for the curb stomp and the spinning back elbow. Good afternoon. Good morning, Larry. How we doing today, sir?
Guys, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing this morning? I appreciate you for having me on.
Oh, man, I'm so excited to having you on, and I'm so excited for the Star Spangled Bash here July 12th, New Era Wrestling in Jasper, Alabama, Swan Gym. Let's just get right into it, Larry. What's going on with you in New Era Wrestling?
You know, I've always enjoyed New Era Wrestling. Jasper, Alabama was one of the first places that I got to teach a wrestling seminar, and it was right before I got offered my contract, so I always have a very special soft spot in my heart for New Era Pro Wrestling. I always say it's my favorite stop in Alabama.
Well, you can find Larry all over the place, and a lot of you probably remember his time in TNA Impact. He was an IWA Mid-South heavyweight champion. He was New South heavyweight champion, NWF Classic champion. I mean, all over the place. Been wrestling for over 20 years, and you've got
25 years in March, fellas. 25 years. Wow. I'll be 42 in January.
What's it take to maintain a 25-year career?
Craziness, absolute craziness. No, it takes a huge support system. Fortunately, I have a wonderful wife and I have 4 amazing children that allow me to do what I do. You know, I don't get out as frequent as I did. I was, when I was chasing the contract, I was out 5-6 nights a week. You know, I would start out, we would teach wrestling on Tuesday night in Paris, Kentucky. I would go to Dayton, Ohio for Rockstar Pro on Wednesdays. Wherever in the world Ian would have us on Thursdays, and then all over the country. I mean, sometimes I would get in the vehicle at 7 o'clock in the morning in Kentucky, and we would drive 10, 11 hours up to Des Moines, Iowa for Wrestling Revolver. If you're not familiar with the Pro Wrestling Revolver, I highly suggest that you go give them a watch. And then from there, we would take a 12 or 13-hour trip to Jasper, Alabama, and we stop at Mr. Bean's and fill up our tummies, and then we would head on over to the gym.
What do you think? I hear you teaching wrestling school here in Jasper. What do you think it takes to start? I have people that say, Joe, you need to do it. You need to just do it. And I'm like, no, I'm too old. I'm going to get hurt. I just want to watch and cheer and say and be rah-rah in the crowd.
Well, I most certainly think that you need to make sure that you want to do this, because I think a lot of people come into this and they underestimate, they think that, oh man, I jump on the trampoline and, you remember playing as a child, how easy it was. And you maybe you thought that you had it. And then, you maybe about that, fellas. Let me do not disturb this real quick. I'm going to do not disturb this real quick. I'm always good at interrupting podcasts this way. So we're good now. I'm on do not disturb. But I truly feel like you have to make sure it's absolutely something that you want to do. I knew at a very young age, I told my mother, rest her soul, at 6 years old, that's what I wanted to do. And, a lot of kids would come in on career day and they'd say, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a doctor, a lawyer. I want to be whatever my dad is. And I my dad was a farmhand, and I knew from the get that I wanted to be a professional wrestler.
So that you mind if I jump in here?
Yeah, please, please.
I just want to, that's kind of where I wanted to ask you, was just about your background there. Like what, obviously you said right there at 6 years old, you knew, but what was it that made you, that helped you make that decision? What was it that informed you there that said, hey, I want to be a wrestler? Was there any one guy? Yeah. Was there any kind of one show you watched?
Of course. I had no idea what pro wrestling was at that age, and I do remember my dad was a farmhand. He worked for $200 a week. And so we were very, very poor growing up. My dad, not to sidetrack, but my dad would take half of his wages and go to the auction, and then he would get a truckload of stuff, and then he would resell it on Sunday, and there you go, But, he came in one night early on a Friday and said, Jeannie, the wrestling, Jeannie's my mother, they got pro wrestling back. MWA's coming back to the Georgetown flea market. I had no idea what it was. And I remember, just getting in the car, pulling up, and there was just a line of people. There had to be 250 people ready to walk in just one, regular size door. And I remember just I had no idea. Walked in, they paid their money, and there sit handsome Jimmy Valiant to the left. And I remember he would always have like these wrestling masks. And, I would always want one. And obviously we couldn't afford one right away, but we would get one eventually every week. Dad would buy me one for $5. But the first heel that ever came out to the ring was a guy named Dangerous Doug Vines. And I'm telling you, he didn't have to speak a word. He didn't have to say anything. He had no flashy gear. But I'm telling you, he captivated the crowd. And the way that the people were yelling at him, and the way that the people, he had gotten all the heat he was getting, it just drew me in. I think I was attracted to the art of it before I knew what the art of it was, if that makes sense, because I loved how you could take a crowd and just dictate what they want to do, how they react to you. Do you want them to like you? Do you want them to hate you? Whatever it might be. And from a young age, that always intrigued me.
We're hanging out with Larry D, the best hand in the house. Larry, what can you tell me about Loversboro, Kentucky?
Loversboro? I don't know much about Loversboro, but I know about Georgetown, Kentucky is my hometown. Maybe Loversboro was Lawrence D's old stomping grounds or something.
I'm sorry. I must have got some bad information. I see billed from Loversboro, Kentucky, so I apologize.
I'm from Georgetown. Maybe that's a Lawrence D thing. Maybe that perfume is from that side of Kentucky.
Okay, I got you. I so apologize. We're hanging out with Larry D, and he is coming to New Era Wrestling July 12th for the Star Spangled Bash, and he's going to be taking on Brother Azriel. Have you done your scouting report on Brother Azriel? I've seen him twice now. And the last time I saw him, or 2 times ago, I saw him do a pile driver onto the gym floor.
Oh, well, he's got his hands full because I'm sitting at 320 right now. And in order to get me up there, he's better hit his workouts. And I'm telling you, I've been hitting the gym heavy. I've been doing my due diligence. I'm ready. I'm so excited to come back to Jasper, Alabama. I can't begin to tell you. I tell you one thing, as strong as he is, I hope he has his boots good and tight because he better bring them ready to work.
I got to ask you about the KO punch.
Yeah,
Is is it do you know every time you connect with one, like, oh yeah, this is it? Or do you feel it on specific, you really get a good one? What does it kind of feel like?
I knew you can go back and watch a match when I was on my climb. I wrestled Johnny Impact. I was blessed to have the opportunity to wrestle for the Impact World Heavyweight title at Dayton, and I hit a pop-up power bomb and I rode him through and I sunk it and I just fell on him. And I'm telling you, I was a split second from being the first like unsigned Impact World Champion. I could just feel it. And if you watch that match and you go back into the crowd, I give my all, but just seeing the people ringside, like, oh my gosh, we're about to see a title change right here, unexpected, and from that day forward, people were like, hey, who is this guy? Sign Larry D, knock him out. And it started to be a hashtag. And man, I was so blessed to get to travel the country without being signed and start to make my living prior. And the knockout punch has been near and dear to my heart. I was always a big fan of Big Show and Paul White growing up. And if you remember early 2000s and later and beyond, he was doing the big knockout punch. And I've always had a decent punch. So I decided to pay homage and incorporate.
Well, Brother Azriel, you better watch out for that knockout punch, and you better watch out for that pop-up power bomb. I was put onto a match that you and Jacob Fatu were in, and you gave him the business, including the pop-up power bomb. Just what do you remember about that match, and really, what's your reaction to the success that Jacob Fatu has ended up having?
I'll tell you, Jacob Fatu, I met him the first time we was in Chicago for AAW there at Logan Square Arena. And I was in a scramble match, and that was our first interaction. We wasn't supposed to have a match on the Bourbon Street side of things, but there was a spot that he was in the ring, like cleaning house. And there was a moment that we had a face-to-face, and the people you could tell they wanted to see that hoss fight. Yeah, let them fight, that kind of stuff. And we built on to our match. And I'm telling you, he was such a nice guy. I'm so happy that he's having the success that he is. And it's always been from day one. Hey, Oos, it's great. I'll work you anytime, Oos. Things like that. And I'm so happy to see the climb that he's on right now. There's no doubt I feel he will be a WWE World Heavyweight Champion in the next 5 years.
Well, you guys had a great match that is right there available on YouTube. So if you're not familiar with Larry D, because you're not a TNA Impact fan, one, you're a loser. But two, just type in Larry D and Jacob Fatu, and you will see a great hard-hitting match, a preview of what's to come on July 12th. New Era Wrestling, the Star Spangled Bash. Larry D's taking on Brother Azriel right there in Swan Gym. You can get tickets, and we want to make it a short announcement. We've been given promo codes almost every New Era Wrestling show. This promo code is going to be Larry D. So as you go on to Eventbrite and get your tickets, just type in Larry D and you will get 25% off your tickets, because I know you're all going to be there to boo me. I'm going to be doing the special guest ring announcing, and so I got to practice the legendary Larry D. We got to get it going. We got to get deep in there because I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm most certainly happy that you're warming up, my friend.
Well, we need to pay our proper respect. We want to leave you the last word right here and just kind of give you a chance to talk to the people in Alabama and really set up your match with Brother Azriel.
I'm really looking forward to making my return to Jasper. I've always enjoyed it, as we spoke earlier. This time I'm coming with books. I have a biography that I will have 8x10s. And it's always been good to share my experience with Jasper, because I feel like Jasper, Alabama was like the turnkey of whenever I started my chase. I'll always hold it near and dear. You can bank on that I'm bringing 125% every time. I hope that Brother Azriel's ready, because I'm always ready. Not to steal from Matt Cardona, but I'm ready at 41, 42. I'm bringing it hard as I did at 21, 22.
You can follow him on the Twitter machine at Legend of Larry D, but you make sure your butt is in Swan Gym right there on July 12th, 7:30, New Era Wrestling, the Star Spangled Bash. Larry D is going to be taking on Brother Azriel, and you don't want to miss it. Larry, thank you so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person, and I'm really looking forward to watching you work in person as well.
I appreciate you guys. I look forward to meeting the both of you.
Absolutely. That's Larry D joining us, and we cannot wait for the Star Spangled Bash. Look, I know I have ruffled some feathers on Twitter, some feathers on Facebook. You're welcome to come boo me right to my face as I'm doing the special guest ring announcing. I appreciate Chloe Wade letting me step in. Chloe is going to be doing a little thing with her family. They're out of town, so she's letting me step onto her microphone, and I will be doing the special guest ring announcing for New Era Wrestling Star Spangled Bash, July 12th. It's going to be 7:30. You can get tickets on Eventbrite right now. And when you get into there, they've got a promo code spot. Just type it in Larry D, all one word, because we're so excited to have Larry D on the program and on the show. And so we hope that you come join us. Save yourself some money, 25% off. The tickets, are not expensive anyway, so they're giving you even a better deal. It's going to be a really, really good show. I know a lot of you wrestling fans are going to be thinking, what about Saturday night's main event? That's what DVR is for. What about AEW's All In? That's what DVR is for. You can save yourself a whole lot of money. Come in person, yell at me, watch the Openweight Championship being contested between the Alpha, Alexander Lincoln, and the irredeemable Aiden Andrews. That's going to be the headliner of the night. But man, I bet the chops, the slaps between Brother Azriel and Larry D are going to be worth every bit of it.
It's going to be crazy. I'm excited to see it.